My name is Marco Johnson. I work for the UNT Health Science Center, the HSC Next, that's our commercialization and innovation arm at the university. But you probably know me, if you've seen me before, as the Sparkyard representative. And who's heard of Sparkyard? Raise your hand. You have some idea. Oh, that's awesome. Great. Most of the hands went up. If you don't know Sparkyard, it is a free platform that we run that connects entrepreneurs to the right resource at the right time to get them connected and growing and launching and growing their businesses. So we're going to talk a little bit about Sparkyard today. We're going to talk about the importance of the Asian American entrepreneurial community and specifically the Vietnamese American community here. So I'm going to hand it over to Kathy Trin. She's going to get us started. And we have a really great event today. So welcome to Sparkyard Presents Roadmap to Business Financing.
Hôm nay thì hi, good morning everybody. My name is Kathy Trin and I am one of the presenters and I'm also the translator today. So Marco will speak in English and then I will translate in Vietnamese, okay? So if you hear me speak some language, it's Vietnamese language. So now back to Vietnamese. Thì xin kính chào quý vị đã đến với sự kiện Sparkyard với tên là bí quyết vay vốn kinh doanh thành công. Thì tôi tên là Kathy Trin và tôi là người thông dịch hôm nay. Thì hồi nãy ông Marco đã đến lên để kính chào quý vị và ông đã giới thiệu là cái gì Sparkyard ai. Thì thưa quý vị, Sparkyard chính là một trong những cái tổ chức mà tôi như đã tổ chức cái sự kiện này. Và Sparkyard là một tổ chức phi lợi nhuận và đã bắt đầu từ năm 2019. Và Sparkyard đã đem lại rất là nhiều nguồn tài nguyên cho những cái người muốn khởi nghiệp ở vùng Bắc Texas. Và một trong những nguồn tài nguyên mà Sparkyard đã đem lại là Sparkyard đã thông dịch cái website của họ bằng từ tiếng Anh qua tiếng Việt để người Việt chúng ta ở nước Mỹ muốn khởi nghiệp cũng không có sự khó khăn về ngôn ngữ. Và một điều thứ hai mà Sparkyard đã làm cho cộng đồng người Việt chúng ta là Sparkyard đã đem những cái sự kiện mà thường là chỉ có ở dòng chính của người Mỹ thôi vào cộng đồng người Việt Nam và bằng hai thứ tiếng là tiếng Anh và tiếng Việt để người Việt chúng ta vẫn không có bị trở ngại trong cái việc mà tham dự và cái như là giao lưu vào dòng chính. Thưa quý vị. Okay, so next, thank you so much, Marco, for the warm welcome and the introduction about who's Sparkyard. So I could put a great note about who's Sparkyard. So next, we go and recognize the sponsor. So I would like everybody to give a huge applause for our sponsor, Ms. May Miao. So you want to talk into the microphone, okay? Because the TV is recording.
Good morning, everybody. My name is May Miao. I'm with Prosperity Bank, and Kathy and I have known each other forever. So I am very happy that she invited me to this event, and I'm here, as a sponsor. Prosperity Bank is a community bank. We focus on relationship. And you will hear me time and again about relationships today. Because, as a community, we help each other. We work together, especially for Asian communities. That's what we need. And we have so many resources. If we don't have the relationship with each other, we don't team up with each other, nothing can be done. So back to Prosperity Bank, we are about 40 billion in assets. And we do business in Oklahoma and Texas. But don't be afraid that if you are trying to expand your business to out of the state, right? If you have any connection in Texas and Oklahoma and you want to expand your business to other states, we can help you. And what I love about Prosperity Bank is not only it's relationship based, also as a relationship manager, I'm your point of contact. You need a loan, May is your person. You need an account, call me. You want merchant service, you want treasury management, call me. And I am not doing everything by myself. I have my teammates, very capable teammates, support me and work with the clients. And every time you call, you will talk to a real person. In this day and age, especially during the digital era, that's not easy to find, right? So this is really what's in the nutshell about Prosperity Bank. And about me, I've been banking for 30 years. I have to say, probably starting from like 5 years. That's a joke, right? But I've been banking for 30 years. I covered the accounting department, retail banking, commercial lending, and multicultural banking. So that's why I know how important that we reach out to different ethnic groups, to have different communities to grow together. And in small business, to the core of the United States economy. So we are here, we discuss together, grow together, and we have all the resources around you. Thank you, Patty.
Now I will translate into Vietnamese. Did I remember everything? Thì bà Media là giám đốc cho vay kinh doanh của ngân hàng Prosperity. Thì thưa quý vị, ngân hàng Prosperity là một ngân hàng có tài sản là 40 tỷ đô la. Thưa quý vị, là một ngân hàng khá lớn. Nhưng mà ngân hàng đó cũng là một ngân hàng cộng đồng và có sự hiện diện, có những cái branch ở tiểu bang Texas và tiểu bang Oklahoma. Thì cô quý vị là tôi và bà Media là các bà là phải biết nhau nhiều năm rồi, từ cái thời còn làm ngân hàng với nhau. Và bà Media là bà có hơn 30 năm kinh nghiệm làm trong ngành ngân hàng, là sẽ là người sẽ giúp đỡ quý vị rất là nhiều trong những cái nhu cầu về vay mượn kinh doanh. Và bà cũng nói là không những chỉ là bà có thể giúp về cái việc cho vay kinh doanh, nhưng mà bà có thể giúp quý vị với những cái nhu cầu khác về cái doanh nghiệp của quý vị. Nếu mà quý vị cần mở một cái tài khoản hoặc là quý vị cần cái này cái nọ, có thể là tôi nói chuyện với bà Media. Thì bà Media không những là coi như bà là coi như là giám đốc kinh doanh, nhưng mà bà còn có một cái đội ngũ dưới tay của bà là để giúp bà với những cái công việc khác. Cho nên là khi quý vị tới bà, cái quan trọng nhất mà bà muốn thiết lập với quý vị là cái sự quan hệ. Tại vì bà nói là nếu mà trong cái cuộc sống mà nếu chúng ta không có sự quan hệ tốt với nhau á, thì rất là khó để cho cái kinh doanh có thể phát triển. Thì đó là những cái lời của của cái người mà tôi như sponsor gọi là bà Media, thưa quý vị. Và nhân tiện đây các quý cũng xin nói là event này chúng tôi đang stream online thưa quý vị, cho nên những người mà có thể là ở những cái tiểu bang khác như là California hay là Oklahoma vẫn có thể xem được. Thì quý vị lưu ý và event này cũng sẽ được là đang được thu hình bởi đài SBTN. Thì các xin cảm ơn chú Hạnh đã đến đây để để mà stream chương trình. Con cảm ơn chú rất là nhiều. Okay, next on the next one will be all call for the guest of honor. And the first one is actually the Arlington Chamber of Commerce President, Mr. Michael Jacobson. So I will ask that Mr. Michael Jacobson stand up and do like a 30-second about who he is and what the chamber can do for small business. Michael, come on here, 30 seconds, okay?
30 seconds. All right. But I got a 15 seconds, and I'm not normally dressed like this. I got a medical procedure. So I didn't even plan on being here today, but Kathy grabbed me and said she got to come in and say it. So the Great Arlington Chamber of Commerce, we have 1,000 roughly members. Our mission is together we champion economic and community prosperity. We do that by helping our members grow their business, fostering overall economic growth, being amplifying the voice of business, helping develop the future through workforce development and education. Entrepreneurship is critically important. We are a big supporter. I'm also chairman of the Economic Development Corporation in Arlington. And I'm pleased to say that we funded our first accelerator called the Founders Arena, which funds wealth tech companies and puts them through an accelerator. Entrepreneurship is critical to the future of Arlington, and we'll be here to be supportive. I'm very pleased to see the Asian community here and learning the agenda today. What we have, May Prosperity Bank is one of our members, by the way. So great to see you here. And we also have an Asian Business Council in our chamber. Very proud that we have them, and they provide training and programs during the year. So please come and check us out. That was more than 30.
Ông Michael Jacobson là giám đốc của phòng thương mại của thành phố Arlington. Thì ông nói rất nhiều, nhưng mà cái gì được ngắn gọn á là ông nói là ở cái phòng thương mại sẽ giúp quý vị phát triển cái sự khởi nghiệp của quý vị. Phòng thương mại có hơn 1.000 thành viên, và phòng thương mại thành phố Arlington cũng có một cái nhóm gọi là Asian American Business Council, ABC, right?
Yes.
Một nhóm doanh nhân mà người Mỹ mà gốc Á, cho nên mà nếu quý vị muốn trở thành một thành viên của phòng thương mại, quý vị có thể tham gia vào cái nhóm đó và có thể tương tác với cái nhóm đó. Thưa quý vị, thì đó là việc ngắn gọn cho ông Michael. Thank you so much, Michael. All right, so the next time I will be really strict, only 30 seconds. I will call your name over. Actually, you know what? I think that we ran out of time. So what I had to do, I call your name, just your name on the slide, and then you send it so everyone can see your name and see who you are. Okay, and then that's what we can move on, so we're not running out of time. Is that with you? Okay with you, Marco?
Yeah.
So then, and then when I call the name, everybody give him a big hand. So next, I would like to honor our City of Arlington Council member, Mr. Long Pham from District 6. Mr. Long.
You want me to come up there?
Actually, you know what? I'm gonna go around the room because I'm sorry, you got to. Okay. 30 seconds.
30 seconds.
But we can't run out of time. Sorry about that.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Long Pham. I'm Arlington Council Member District 6. I represent Arlington District 6 is at large position that represent everybody to collect the mayor. So the 8th district in Arlington, 1 through 5, that's single district. And then 6, 7, 8 at large. I'm one of those at large position. And I'm honored to have the opportunity to be here and speak to you briefly. Small business, runs America. So it's important that Kathy Quinn today, she here and got this committee got together like a little forum so we can share the knowledge and help each other out. So small business is important. So I appreciate it. And if you run into any problems, I can leave my business card here, or you can go to city website, city council, Long Pham, and then you can call that number. If you need my cell phone, you can go to my campaign website, vote for longpham.com. It's a donate page. You have donate money if you don't want to. That's my personal cell number. That's how I give it out to homeless people, poor people, rich people. Anybody got my cell number? I work for the citizen in Arlington. If you live in Arlington, you are my boss. And I remember I work for you and you own it. Okay. So I don't work for the city. The city cannot fire me. Only y'all can do it. But I'm honored to have the opportunity to serve the citizen in Arlington, especially the Vietnamese community, because some of the elders that cannot speak English, and I have the honor to help a lot of them and translate and help them navigate through some difficult time with issue around where they live. Thank you.
Okay. Không rất là nhiều thì Cathy xin dịch ra là anh Long là thành viên của hội đồng thành phố Arlington và là anh là tuần thứ 6. Thì anh nói là coi như là nếu mà quý vị cần gì á là quý vị có thể tới, anh có thể chia sẻ cái business card của anh với quý vị. Quý vị có thể email cho anh, quý vị có thể gọi cho anh. Quý vị là boss của anh làm việc cho những cái người sống ở Arlington. Dạ, từ đó là coi như lời giới thiệu của anh Long. Okay, so this is what happened. We are kind of like behind the schedule. So when I call the name, what I ask you guys to wave at everybody, and then I keep going so that we can catch on with the agenda. Is that okay? So next, I would like Sam Emerson and Vivek Ratna, Paul here to wave at everybody. Okay, so Sam is the first one right there. Raise your hand, Sam. And then who's Paul? Paul's right there, the gentleman in the white shirt. And then the next one is Vivek. Do I say that correctly? So everybody, they are SCORE mentor. They provide business mentoring to you at no cost. So you go to them if you need any help for business mentor, okay? Sam, Paul, and Vivek. All right, next. Next, I want to honor the owner of Radio Saigon Dallas and SBTN TV. As a matter of fact, he's right here in this room to record us, Mr. Đỗ Văn Hạnh. Mr. Hạnh, tiếp theo là Cathy xin cảm ơn là chú Đỗ Văn Hạnh, là chú là người chủ của đài SBTN Và coi như Radio Sài Gòn Dallas, chú là làm chủ tới 2 cái đài khác nhau thưa quý vị, và chú có mặt ở hôm nay ở trong phòng để thu hình cho tất cả các vị. Và hồi nãy là coi như đó là những cái người cố vấn từ SCORE, là ông Sam Emerson, ông Paul và ông Vivek, là những người cố vấn và về doanh nghiệp, và họ sẽ đưa dịch vụ cố vấn để mà không có một cái phí nào dành cho quý vị. Next, I saw that we had in this room the founder of Dallas Vietnamese Radio, Peter Dow. Peter, would you stand up and wave everyone? Bây giờ cảm ơn anh Peter Dow. Anh Peter Dow là người chủ của Dallas Vietnamese Radio, và anh đã có mặt hôm nay để tham dự với chúng ta. And next, a good friend of mine, Teresa Nguyen, who owns the law office of Teresa Nguyen. So Teresa not only offer law service, but she also do public speaking and coaching. Am I correct? So
And communication coaching, which is something I'm very passionate about.
wonderful. Thank you so much for being here with us. And next, Angie Dong, another great community partner who owns AKL Real Estate. Angie, would you please say hi to everybody? So Angie is a very well-known community. Not only she own a real estate business, but she also was, you have your own TV show for many years. So you, and then you teach us a lot about real estate investment. Thank you so much for being here with us. And last but not least, I would like to say thank to our volunteer, Lisa Nguyen and Kendall Roger. Would you please stand up? Trong một khi rất là cảm ơn tới những tình nguyện viên là chị Lisa Nguyễn đã giúp để mà check in các khách hàng, và cô Kendall là cô giúp với lại việc streaming online. Và nếu mà không có những tình nguyện viên này thì cái sự kiện chúng ta sẽ không thể nào mà tự nhiên có thể là tốt đẹp được. Và tiếp theo là the next one will be the presentation by Marco Johnson. So
You to drive Eli.
oh, I am so sorry. My bad. Okay, so Eli is actually the very first one. So everybody, please help me to welcome the representation from the U.S. Small Business Administration, Mr. Eli Ball. So I was excited when I heard his name because Eli Ball means you are Vietnamese American, right? So we have the Asian American representation at the SBA, because I know the SBA forever, and for many years they never had an Asian American representation. So Eli, thank you so much for being here with us. Okay, so I didn't miss anybody else, right? Dr. Guinness.
I'm gonna click through slides.
Oh.
You do there? Okay. Okay, great. So we are running a little behind, so I'm going to be very brief with my presentation so we can get to the good stuff, which is our panel. So again, Sparkyard is this platform that connects entrepreneurs to resources, right? Because if you're an entrepreneur, raise your hand if you're an entrepreneur, small business owner. Yeah, awesome. Great to have you all here. How many of you felt that it was a really easy thing to get your business up and running? Yeah, exactly. How many people wish that there was a roadmap or somebody that could lead you step by step to get access to resources or give you information? Yeah, awesome. That's exactly why we started Sparkyard, because we know that starting a business and growing it successfully is one of the hardest things that people can do. So the why behind Sparkyard was that what we realized is that Fort Worth's entrepreneurial ecosystem is much underdeveloped, considering we're one of the largest cities in the country. And this kind of holds true for Arlington as well. So just when I say Fort Worth, let's just think about Tarrant County in general, right? Next slide.
Okay.
So Sparkyard does three things primarily. Number one, it connects entrepreneurs to resources. And I'll explain a little bit more what I mean by resources in just a minute. The second thing is that we connect those resource providers with each other. So a lot of resource providers don't really talk. They don't understand what other resources are doing. And that's our job, is to help educate and break down those barriers and those silos so everyone knows what everyone else is doing. And the third thing we do is analysis of our ecosystem. How are we performing? What metrics do we need to be looking at? And then we use that information to advocate for things like new accelerator programs or more access to finance or whatever it is, right? So you can't really be prescriptive about what we need until you understand the problem. So we started doing this data analysis a few years ago, and it's been really great in our advocacy efforts.
And here is a translation in Vietnamese. Thì thưa quý vị, ông Marco, hồi nãy ông có nói một câu là khi mà quý vị bắt đầu khởi nghiệp thì quý vị có thấy dễ hay là thấy khó? Thì phần lớn mọi người là thấy rất là khó, tại vì không biết là đi đâu, rồi bắt đầu như thế nào, rồi phải làm như thế nào nó đúng, và có rất là nhiều bước. Thì Sparkyard ra đời vào năm 2019 với mục đích là tôi nghĩ có thể là một cái tổ chức phi chuyên nghiệp để giúp cho những cái người nào muốn khởi nghiệp là có một cái lộ trình và có một và biết được những cái nguồn tài nguyên ở đâu và làm sao để nó có thể mà đến được và dùng những nguồn tài nguyên đó có thể giúp được cho business của quý vị. Thì hồi nãy Marco có chia sẻ là thành phố Phú Quốc là thành phố đứng thứ 12 trên đất nước Mỹ. Cho quý vị, thứ 12 là một thành phố khá lớn, nhưng mà cái hệ sinh thái cho những cái doanh nhân ở thành phố Phú Quốc nó vẫn chưa được phát triển vững chắc và vẫn chưa có được cái sự hỗ trợ cần thiết để mà chúng ta có thể phát triển. Cho nên là Sparkyard ra đời với mục đích là như vậy. Thưa quý vị, thì Sparkyard là tự như là những cái video website Sparkyard thì quý vị có thể thấy là Sparkyard là có 3 cái mảng chính. Cái mảng thứ nhất là kết nối cái doanh nghiệp của quý vị với những cái nguồn tài nguyên mà ví dụ là store này, SBDC này, Techbox là những cái nguồn tài nguyên mà giúp cho quý vị khởi nghiệp. Và thứ hai là cái như là có những thực hiện thế này để những người muốn khởi nghiệp họ có thể kết nối với những người muốn khởi nghiệp khác để mà có thể nâng tầm cái business của quý vị. Và cái thứ ba là họ sẽ đưa những cái tờ vi tiền để mà phân tích cái hệ sinh thái và cái như từ đó có thể đi lên với là cái như government là cái như nước Mỹ để có thể kiếm thêm những cái nguồn funding, những cái nguồn vốn vào để mà giúp cho việc khởi nghiệp của những cái nhà doanh nghiệp ở cái bang Texas. Thưa quý vị.
Okay, so we launched Sparkyard in 2019. It's just about 4 years old, and we are predominantly funded by my home institution, that's the UNT Health Science Center. But we also have support from the city of Fort Worth Economic Development Department, as well as KCU's Mealy School. And thanks to all of the generous support and donations from those organizations, we're able to keep Sparkyard free. So we don't charge for any of our services. And again, we are stage agnostic and industry agnostic. So we help any entrepreneur at any stage at any time.
Thì nhiều khi cái mình nói là cái tổ chức này là phi tiền tiền thì từ nó lấy tiền ở đâu để mà có thể là cái như đem lại những cái việc lợi ích này cho những người khởi nghiệp mà không có một cái phí nào cả. Chúng tôi với quý vị là Sparkyard là có những cái đối tác xác lập là thứ nhất là cái trường Texas Christian University là trường rất là lớn thành phố Fort Worth. Thứ hai là bên nó nằm dưới University of North Texas là Health Science Center ở thành phố Fort Worth. Và cái thứ ba là cái thành phố Fort Worth thì những cái đối tác sáng lập này họ đã cho gọi là cái grant hoặc là cái tiền của những cái Sparkyard có thể có những cái nguồn tài nguyên như vậy và có thể đem lại nguồn tài nguyên như vậy đến cho quý vị mà không có một cái phí nào thưa quý vị.
Okay, I told you that I would talk a little bit more about resource partners. What do we mean by resource partners? So we're sitting in a resource partner that Arlington Chamber of Commerce is a great resource for local entrepreneurs here. You can see some of the other organizations up here, 1 Million Cups, a variety of other academic institutions, SCORE mentorship program. Again, thanks to the SCORE folks for being here. SBDC, SBA, of course. So these are all organizations that typically provide free resources to entrepreneurs. Some of these organizations have paid programs like Tech Fort Worth, for example, but typically most of these organizations provide free resources, and that's what we specialize in.
Dạ kính thưa quý vị thật như có rất là nhiều cái nguồn tài nguyên ở trong cái dòng chính của người Mỹ mà tự nhiên đem lại rất là nhiều cái sự giúp đỡ cho cái việc khởi nghiệp, nhưng mà người Việt Nam mình không biết, cho nên chúng tôi mới có cái sự kiện này ở bằng thành phố Arlington bằng tiếng Việt. Và đây là tất cả những cái nguồn tài nguyên mà Sparkyard sẽ giúp là kết nối với quý vị. Thứ nhất là SCORE, thì như quý vị biết SCORE là có những cái ông cố vấn này, là những người này là người đã rất là thành công rồi và họ bây giờ là họ về thu và họ giúp quý vị cố vấn cho business của quý vị hoàn toàn miễn phí, quý vị không có trả một đồng nào cả. Nhưng mà phần lớn người Việt Nam mình hoàn toàn không biết về họ. đó nhé. Thứ hai là một cái tổ chức cũng rất là khá lớn gọi là SBDC là Small Business Development Center, thì hồi xưa Cathy cũng là cố vấn viên làm việc cho cái tổ chức đó, và họ cũng là như kết nối với quý vị với những cái ngân hàng, và cũng là họ cung cấp dịch vụ cố vấn hoàn toàn miễn phí cho quý vị không phải là mua bán cái gì cả. Và tiếp theo á, là nếu mà quý vị có một công ty gọi là cái như về công nghệ, nó gọi là technology company, thì quý vị có thể tới Tech Portal là một cái tổ chức phi lợi nhuận tổ chức cho quý vị về cái đó. Ví dụ như quý vị muốn có một cái app ha, muốn có một cái Facebook hay là một công ty như là Uber hay là những cái công ty gọi là technology company, là công ty về công nghệ, thì quý vị có thể tới Tech Portal. Thì Cathy hồi xưa cũng là phó giám đốc cho cái tổ chức đó, cho nên là Sparkyard họ đem những cái nguồn tài nguyên đó. Người Mỹ thì họ biết rất là nhiều về những nguồn tài nguyên đó rồi, nhưng mà người Việt Nam mình không biết, mà không ai biết. Tương tự chúng tôi có thực hiện ở thành phố London bằng tiếng Việt, để chúng tôi muốn là người Việt Nam mình biết được cái nguồn tài nguyên đó để có thể đến và bây giờ xin lấy cái sự giúp đỡ, và từ đó là chúng ta có thể phát triển cái business của mình, và chúng ta có thể nâng cấp cái doanh nghiệp của mình, thưa quý vị.
And briefly, the difference between Sparkyard and all of these other organizations is that our job is just to get entrepreneurs connected to these resources. So we're not doing the business planning or the marketing or any of that. It's just our job to illuminate what resources are available out there based on your needs at the time.
Và ông Marco cũng giải thích là cái sự khác nhau giữa Sparkyard và những cái tổ chức chuyên thời điều đó, là Sparkyard sẽ là nối kết quý vị tới với những cái tổ chức đó. Ví dụ như là Duyên ha, chị nói với Cathy là với ông Marco chị nói là chị muốn mở một cái nhà hàng, thì ông Marco nói ôi chị Duyên không có nhà hàng, nhưng đầu tiên chị Duyên phải tới Score, người nói chuyện với ông những cái ông mà cố vấn ở Score để cũng giúp cho chị viết business plan. Đầu tiên mình phải có một cái business plan, có một cái kế hoạch kinh doanh cho nó đàng hoàng, rồi sau đó chạy qua với SBDC để họ giúp chị Duyên tìm một cái ngân hàng mà nó phù hợp với cái tần cái của chị Duyên. Rồi sau đó là cũng như là hay là chạy cái anh Long, cái chuyện anh Long để anh Long giúp chị kiếm cái connect với Cedar Arlington để nó có cái permit để mà mở nhà hàng. Thì đó là rất, khi mà mình mở một cái doanh nghiệp mà nó có rất là nhiều cái bước khác nhau, mà nếu mà mình biết những cái nguồn tài nguyên mình tới để giúp đỡ mình thì mình đi sẽ nhanh hơn, hay là mình mày mò một chỗ, thưa quý vị.
So we have, yes, I'm going to breeze through the rest of these very quickly. We have lots of different services that we provide at Sparkyard. The one that I'm going to draw your attention to is our Spark Plan. So if you're an entrepreneur and you want to reach out to us, go to our website, look for Spark Plan, request that, fill in a very short form, and then tell us what your biggest obstacles are and the challenges that you're trying to overcome. We will send you a customized list of these resources and warm introductions if you need to get you connected.
Thì thưa quý vị, cái slide này nó có tất cả những cái dịch vụ mà cái như Sparkyard đem đến cho quý vị. Thì một cái mà nó xuất sắc nhất là nó gọi là Spark Plan. Thì trong đó là nó là một cái đơn. Thì quý vị điền vào cái đơn đó những cái sự khó khăn của quý vị trong cái việc khởi nghiệp. Thì khi cái đơn đó nó sẽ tới với ông Marco, rồi ông Marco sẽ đọc đó và ông Marco sẽ kết nối quý vị với những cái nguồn tài nguyên có thể giúp cho quý vị với cái doanh nghiệp của quý vị.
Okay, this will be my last slide. So here we have the homepage of the Sparkyard website in Vietnamese. And we launched this last summer. We were very excited to do this. We realized that Asian Americans and Vietnamese Americans are 3 times more likely to own a business than the average American. So we also realized that a lot of people in the Asian American community don't have access to resources. And that's not okay. Right? For such a large and important group, Asian Americans represent 5% of the population nationally, but own 15% of the businesses. And as Councilman said, small business is the backbone of the American economy. This is where the jobs get created. This is where the wealth gets generated. So it was obvious to us that we had to support this community. We wanted to get this page translated, or our site translated into Vietnamese to foster those access.
Và thưa quý vị, là đây là cái website của Sparkyard. Thì thưa quý vị là cái như Sparkyard các khi làm trong cái ngành này rất là nhiều năm, thì đây là cái tổ chức thiện nguyện duy nhất mà người ta sẵn sàng bỏ tiền ra rất là nhiều tiền để mà có thể dịch cái website họ từ tiếng Anh qua tiếng Tây Ban Nha thì rất là thuận lợi, nhưng mà qua tiếng Việt. Và cái lý do mà cô nói là phải dịch qua tiếng Việt là tại vì á, là tiếng Việt là tiếng thứ ba ở vùng Nam sâu lục tiếng được nói nhiều nhất thứ ba, thứ nhất là tiếng Anh, thứ hai tiếng Anh, thứ ba tiếng Việt. Đó là lý do đầu tiên. Lý do thứ hai á, là người gốc Á của chúng ta á, là tuy là chúng ta chỉ có chiếm tới 5% của cái population của nước Mỹ, nhưng mà chúng ta á, là như là khởi nghiệp cấp 3 là người Mỹ, và chúng ta là có tới 15% tất cả những cái doanh nghiệp của nước Mỹ. Cho nên á, nhưng mà rất là buồn, đáng buồn á, là rất là nhiều tổ chức, rất là nhiều cơ quan người ta vẫn chưa phục vụ được cái cộng đồng của chúng ta một cách thỏa đáng. Thì Sparkyard là một cái tổ chức thì đầu tiên mà người ta đã dịch qua website bằng tiếng Việt để cho người Việt chúng ta không có sử dụng nào ngôn ngữ có thể vào và có thể đọc, có thể hiểu, có thể lấy được những nguồn tài nguyên. Thì đó là cái như là những cái gì mà ông Marco và Sparkyard đem lại cái cộng đồng người Việt chúng ta. Và một cái thứ hai rất là quan trọng là chúng tôi đã có những cái cuộc những cái sự kiện như thế này. Thì đây không phải là sự kiện đầu tiên thưa quý vị, như anh nói chuyện với anh Long á, thì sự kiện đầu tiên á là thực ra là kiện vào tháng 4 năm này. Đây là sự kiện thứ hai cũng bằng xong những thưa quý vị.
And the last two slides, I'll let you look at them. Everybody's got a printout here. So we have some statistics about our users. And the last one is a little bit about the impact and the number of users and that sort of thing. So I'm going to wrap it up there.
Okay. Thank you so much, Marco. And Marco had to leave. Everybody, big thank you to him, please. So we heard that his daughter is a little bit sick, so he might or might not stay with us, you know. So let's hope that she's doing okay. All right, so if you want to stretch your legs, go grab a coffee. There's a really delicious coffee from Paris Baguette. There's also fruit and pastry in the back. In the meanwhile, I will move on to my presentation. Okay, so I will talk first in English and second in Vietnamese. Okay, so you all have the presentation in front of you. So the title of my presentation is very long. It's called All Pathways to Raising Capital for Your Small Business. So hello everybody, my name is Kathy Trin, and a lot of you know me as a business professor at Tarrant County College, but I also own my own business. The name is called Training Consultant Group, and the website at trainingconsultant.com. I have my phone number and my email in there if you want to contact me and ask for help. So xin chào quý vị khán giả, thì nếu mà quý vị muốn là đi ra sau phía sau đó, nó sẽ có là nước này, nó có cà phê, có bánh và có trái cây để quý vị có thể ăn trong khi ngồi nghe thuyết trình. Thì tôi là Ca Thị Trịnh và tôi sẽ thuyết trình về một cái chủ đề là tất cả phương án để mà có thể huy động vốn cho cái business cho cái kinh doanh của quý vị. Thì tôi, nhiều người biết với tôi là tôi là người giáo sư dạy học môn kinh doanh ở trường Tarrant County College. Và tôi cũng có một doanh nghiệp tên là Trịnh Consulting Group. Thì nếu mà quý vị muốn biết nhiều hơn về doanh nghiệp của tôi thì có thể vào trịnhconsulting.com để mà coi như truy cập. Thì những cái topic, những cái chủ đề mà chúng ta nói chuyện hôm nay á, thì khi mà tôi làm cố vấn về thương mại và coi như làm banker thì tôi thấy là người châu Á chúng ta struggle, thử thách nhiều nhất về cái chuyện mà funding for your small business. Okay, so I'm going to speak in English. So the reason why that we pick funding for your business, because at a little bit of background, you know that I work currently I'm a business professor at my business, but in the past I was a banker like May and Tuan. As a matter of fact, Tuan and Vaughn right here, we used to be co-workers. So I work with a lot, hundreds and hundreds small business, and there's small business have a lot of challenge to start a business. As a matter of fact, 2/3 of small business fail within the first 5 years. And the number one challenge that I have observed as a business advisor, as a banker, is funding for your small business. That's the reason why we bring this topic today. There's still intent of running a business. You talk about marketing, you talk about sales, you talk about financing, but funding, in my opinion, is one of the most difficult things, you know, and my banker friend can agree with me. So that's what we are talking about. So here's the topic. We will talk about the state of Vietnamese American entrepreneurship so that our lawmaker understand where we at right now. We are talking about before you want to get funding, you have to decide how much you need. We will talk about the difference between equity and debt financing. And for the self-financing, we talk about credit card, saving, retirement, all the investment account. And then we were talking about all the alternative funding that may not be familiar with the Vietnamese American community. And then last, we talk about different SBA loan programs. So first, I have to let you know that we are a little bit over time. So if I I talk very fast. I apologize. Everything is in the presentation. If you have any question, feel free to raise your hand, and I'm happy to answer you, okay? But I'm gonna go a little bit fast so that I can catch it. Is that okay with everybody? Yes? Okay. All right. Thì Cathy á, là tại vì hôm nay á, là cái phần trình bày của Cathy là chỉ có 15 phút thôi. Cho nên là Cathy sẽ nói là khá nhanh á. Thì Cathy là xin phép quý vị là tha lỗi cho Cathy. Thì Cathy sẽ nói là cứ như trong tất cả những cái vấn đề mà về lập nghiệp á, thì Cathy thấy là từ kinh nghiệm làm ngân hàng và làm cố vấn của Cathy là cái chuyện mà huy động vốn cho cái doanh nghiệp của mình là một cái việc khó khăn nhất mà Cathy đã thấy trong tất cả những cái gì mà running business. Cho nên là Cathy mời những cái giám đốc ngân hàng đến hôm nay để nói chuyện với quý vị. Và cái như Cathy xin lỗi là sẽ nói hơi nhanh á, tại vì Cathy không còn nhiều thời gian á. Thì đầu tiên là Cathy sẽ nói về thứ nhất là coi như là những cái sự nổi lên của người Việt ở tại Dallas Fort Worth. Thì thưa quý vị là hồi nãy chúng ta đã nói rất là nhiều lần rồi. So alright, so the first I want to let our local authority like Mr. Long Pham and also Mr. Eli Ball and all the people know about the rise of Asian American entrepreneurship in DFW. So earlier we talked about that Vietnamese language is the third most spoken language in DFW area. You know what, Eli? I hope one day the SBA website will translate into Vietnamese. That would be wonderful, so that it remove a lot of barrier for Vietnamese American entrepreneurs, like what Sparkyard did with their website. So, and we talk about that the Asian American population is only 5% in the U.S., but we own 15% of our business. So that's huge, right? Thì hồi nãy chúng ta đã nói rất là nhiều lần rồi á, là người tiếng Việt là tiếng nói thứ ba trong vùng Dallas Fort Worth, và cứ như chúng ta là cứ như là có tới 15% tổng số doanh nghiệp trong khu vực của chúng ta. Thì là đây là and this is but that doesn't mean that we Vietnamese American population have their own challenge. So we have a lot of challenge as the Vietnamese American population, and I want you to be aware of that, so that you will do more outreach in our community to bring more resources to our community. So here is the Vietnamese immigrant population in the United States, as you can see. So they keep coming up here in 2017, 1.3 million. So we have a very good sizable population in the US. Thì bây giờ các khi cho quý vị qua một cái slide về cái về cái population của người Việt ở vùng đó là ở nước Mỹ, thì coi như là vào năm 2017 thì dân số người Việt tại Mỹ là coi như 1,3 triệu, thì cũng cho quý vị biết là một con số rất là khá lớn. Và tiếp theo là đây là những cái nơi mà coi như có dân số người Việt lớn nhất của nước Mỹ. So here is a slide of the top metropolitan areas that populated by Vietnamese Americans. And if you know, the number one is LA, San Jose, Houston, but guess what? Dallas Fort Worth is number 4 in the United States. And the reason why I want to show this to you, so that our local authority and our federal and our state will give more attention to this population. So we actually pretty populated, in the Dallas Fort Worth area. And that's the reason why that Vietnamese language is the third most spoken language in the United States. So it all sounds really wonderful, right? Thì Cathy nói cho quý vị biết là trong nước Mỹ là coi như là cái 4 cái nơi mà đông người Việt Nam nhất của nước Mỹ là đầu tiên là LA, San Jose, Houston, và thứ ba là Dallas Fort Worth. Thì chứng tỏ với quý vị là coi như Dallas Fort Worth chúng ta có rất là nhiều người Việt. Nhưng mà có một cái but we favor challenge. So if you delve into the history of Vietnamese American immigrants, you will notice that a lot of Vietnamese Americans came later when they are a little bit older, okay, like in their 30 and 40. So it's very challenging for them to go back to school and acquire the English. And that's the reason why that only 44 of Vietnamese American adults is proficient in English. Are you with me, Sabah? Less than half of Vietnamese American adult is proficient in English. Okay, and that's the reason why we need to have more events like this in the Vietnamese and English language, so that we can invite everybody. Thì Cathy muốn chia sẻ với quý vị là tại vì người Việt mà khi di cư tới nước Mỹ là khi đó người ta cũng khá lớn tuổi rồi cũng có nhiều người khá lớn tuổi rồi, cho nên chỉ có 44% của những người đã trưởng thành mà người Việt ở đất nước Mỹ là họ nói tiếng Anh tốt, còn lại là coi như gần 60% là nói không có tốt, cho nên là họ không có, cho nên có cái nhu cầu là những cái tổ chức phi thiện nguyện hay là những cái cơ quan nhà nước như là SBA phải dịch ra bằng tiếng Việt để giúp đỡ cho cộng đồng của người Việt Nam của chúng ta. Any questions so far? No? Okay, then let's keep going. All right, so that is just like a very quick overview of the entrepreneurship of Vietnamese American in the United States and also in the year. So let's go to the topic. So when people come to me and say, Kathy, I want to start a business. I need money, I need help. And then the very first question I ask that person is, how much money do you need, right? And they was like, I have no idea. And most that you could give me. Maybe you get that. So that you don't want to make that mistake, okay? So what you want to do is when you start a business, what I want you to do is sit down and write down what you need, okay? It's called estimate your startup cost. You have to write down everything. Thì cái khi nói là việc đầu tiên khi mà quý vị bắt đầu mà khởi nghiệp á, mà về cái chuyện finance với funding á, là khi những cái khách hàng tới với các khi á, là người ta nói là tôi cần sự giúp đỡ, thì các khi hỏi họ là cần bao nhiêu tiền, thì họ lại có nhiều người họ không biết họ cần bao nhiêu tiền. Họ nói là tôi cho cô là cái như là banker thì tôi cho tôi bao nhiêu tôi lấy nhiều, cái đó là không có đúng được quý vị. Thì quý vị khi mà khởi nghiệp á, việc đầu tiên quý vị phải ngồi xuống, quý vị phải viết xuống những cái gì mà mình cần. Thì coi như là có, so here is different costs. The first expense is called one-time cost. And what does it mean is a fee that you always spend one time and you never spend again. For example, I talked with you earlier, you want to start a restaurant, right? So the first thing you want to incorporate your business, you want to do it maybe under an restaurant, right? That sounds like okay, legal. So she probably pay, is it $350 to the state of Texas to incorporate that? But she only paid one time, right? She never had to pay it again. And maybe she need a sign for her restaurant, and again, that's one-time cost. So that's not one-time cost. The next one is called recurring cost. So to start a restaurant, you definitely have recurring costs. Like you have to pay for your utility, your water, your electricity. You have to pay for your insurance. That happens every month. And then for the recurring cost, you can divide it into different categories. The first one is fixed. The second one is variable. For example, for the restaurant, you have to pay rent. So for example, you get a building, right? And your rent is $5,000 per month, but it's fixed every month. Every month, $5,000. So we know that you have to pay $5,000 rent for every single month. Let's say you have to pay for your general liability insurance. That is probably you have to pay annually. Let's say that's $1,000, and we know it's the same. But then what's really that you have to pay attention is called variable cost. And what does it mean is the cost go up and down depend on how the business goes. For example, if she sell, let's say she sells for a restaurant, right? She has to pay for inventory. She has to pay for noodles. She has to pay for all the costs to run her restaurant that go up and down. Depend like in summer, people don't eat pho a lot because it's a hot soup, right? So it's probably go down. But then in the winter, it's hot soup, so people love to eat hot soup in the winter, so it go up. To give you a difference between the fixed and variable cost. And what she wants to do is she wants to write now, she wants to get a cost of several months. So she know how much it cost to start a whole restaurant. Okay. Okay, so back in Vietnamese. Thì là bên như trong những cái mà ước lượng á, cái gọi là cái startup cost á, thì quý vị á là có những cái chi phí á, là đầu tiên á là chi phí chỉ có là một lần thôi, là coi như á là ví dụ như chị Duyên muốn là coi như có incorporate cái business á, thì á là coi như nó chỉ trả một lần và không bao giờ phải trả nữa, hoặc là phải lấy một cái bản hiệu cho cái nhà hàng của mình á thì cũng chỉ trả một lần thôi. Nhưng mà sau đó là có những cái chi phí là khi nào cũng phải trả, ví dụ như là điện nước là tháng nào cũng phải trả, đúng không? Rồi coi như là insurance thì năm nào cũng phải trả. Và trong những cái chi phí đó là nó có thể là thành hai chi phí. Cái thứ đầu tiên á là coi như nó gọi là fixed là coi như là cố định. Cái thứ hai là chi phí variable gọi là biến đổi. Thì fixed là ví dụ như là insurance thì tháng nào nó cũng fixed cả. Còn variable á thì là tùy theo cái business của mình nó chậm hay nó nhanh á, thì mình có thể là nó lên xuống. Ví dụ như bán phở á, thì tháng nào mà tháng mùa hè á thì coi như chắc là sẽ bán ít hơn, tại người ta không ăn phở nhiều vào mùa hè, thì có thể là mua bánh phở hay là mua thịt á thì nó ít hơn, nhưng mà mùa đông thì nhiều hơn thì nó cũng lên cao. Cho nên là đầu tiên mình phải ngồi xuống, mình phải ước lượng tất cả những cái cost đó để mà từ đó mình biết á là coi như là để có một cái nhà hàng phở là những tháng đầu mình cần bao nhiêu tiền. Ok, thì á bây giờ Cathy sẽ I'm gonna pass by this next one. Okay, so here the most common mistake entrepreneurs make would estimate startup cost. And I have a bunch of bankers here, so they can agree, disagree. We can talk about that later. But this is from my own experience. The first is, like I said, when they come to our banker, they have no idea how much they need. So we have to tell them to go back and do the homework again. So the next one is, I see the most is a lot of them don't budget their own salary. And y'all, you cannot do that. We all have responsibility, right? You all have to pay rent. You all have children that send to school. You all have to eat. So you have to budget some salary so you survive. So you don't start with debt before your business profitable. A lot of time, most of the time they underestimate their startup costs and they run out of money. And then the last one is they underestimate the time to profitability. Let's say you start a food restaurant, it probably take like, I don't know, 3 to 6 months before you break even and then you become profitable. So you have to have enough money to get there. Okay, so I'm gonna do it in Vietnamese. Thì coi như là đây là những cái sai lầm phổ biến mà khi doanh nhân thường mắc phải khi mà ước lượng chi phí khởi nghiệp. Thưa quý vị, đầu tiên á là coi như họ không biết là cái số tiền họ cần là như thế nào, thì hồi nãy mình nói rồi là phải viết xuống tất cả mọi thứ. Thứ hai á, là họ không có trả lương cho bản thân mình. Thì coi như là nếu mà không trả lương cho cho bản thân mình á, thì coi như sẽ chết đói, phải không thưa quý vị? Cho nên là phải trả lương cho bản thân mình, không cần nhất thiết là phải nhiều lương, nhưng mà đủ để mình không có phải là coi như là chết đói trước khi mà cái business của mình nó làm ra tiền. Thứ hai á, là họ đánh giá thấp cái chi phí khởi nghiệp, và khi mà business nó chưa thành công á, thì họ đã hết tiền rồi, mà hết tiền có nghĩa là game over. Và cuối cùng á, là họ đánh giá thấp cái thời gian từ khởi đầu cho tới khi có lợi nhuận. And later, what happened? We have a panel discussion with the 3 bankers, and they will tell me if that's true or not. Okay, I'm gonna pause here and ask if you have a question, because room is awfully quiet, which makes me really nervous. Eli, any question from the SBA? And yes.
General question, is recording be available on demand later on? Would this recording be on demand later on? Unfortunately, I'm sad to leave for a hearing in Fort Worth, so I would love to see the rest of the panel and the presentation.
Yes. So what time? That will come with the recorder, but I also recorded on my Microsoft Teams, so I am happy to share with you all.
Okay, thank you very much.
For being there.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, so the next slide is that we talk about different, there are 2 types of major business financing. The first one is equity, and the second one is called debt. And it's actually very easy. So don't let the name fool you, okay? So equity requires that you sell a partial interest or ownership of your business to raise money. Okay, so let's go back to Yuan and her restaurant. So how much does it cost to start a restaurant in Bond? $500,000?
Depending on what,
Right.
how fancy you want to be, right?
Right, let the how million to make it easy, okay, right. So the first one is the easiest one, actually, is self-funding. If you have $500,000, you can go out and start a restaurant, because one saving. Unfortunately, most people don't have $500,000, okay. So here's the option, if you want to go with the equity funding, okay, then what you can do is you can, get a different route, like you can go with investor, okay. And then it can be a third-party investor, angel investor, venture capital, friend and family. For example, you can come to me and say, Kathy, you are my friend, you know me, I do a good job. Maybe that, you want to invest in my business. Maybe you invest $100,000 in my business, and I give you 20% of my business. You would be so far. So that's called equity funding. Very simple, right? All right. The next one is called debt funding. And see, like, I don't want to give up my ownership of the business. So what you can do is go to SBA, okay? SBA will probably have a good one. So you can go to May. You say, May, I have 20% for down payment with $100,000, but I need $400,000 to start my first restaurant. Will you give me an SBA loan? And then May will sit down with her and then work with her to get the loan and see. Okay, so does that explain everything? Okay, wait, and now back to the news. Okay. So, có 2 cách để mà huy động vốn. Cách đầu tiên là huy động vốn từ cái bán một phần quyền sở hữu trong cái công ty của bạn. Đó là cái đầu tiên. Cách thứ hai là mượn nợ, và cái như hồi nãy là cái khi nói cái câu chuyện của chị Duyên là ví dụ như chị Duyên bắt đầu một cái nhà hàng phở và nó mất là 500.000 để mà có thể có cái nhà hàng phở này. Thì là nếu mà chị Duyên có 500.000 tiền túi của chị Duyên không có cần phải đi mượn của ai cả, không có phải huy động của ai cả, chứ nó là gọi là self funding. Thì chị Duyên chỉ để bỏ tiền của mình ra để bắt đầu. Nhưng mà thực tế á, là rất là đáng tiếc là nhiều người không ai có được số tiền đó cả, cho nên là người ta có thể là coi như người ta đi một là đi mượn bà con bạn bè, hay là người ta sẽ đổ tới nhà ngân hàng ATM để mượn một cái nợ, thì đó là cái cách thứ hai của quý vị. Okay, so the next one is self-funding. So a lot of people don't know, but self-funding is the number one choice the business owner choose when they start their business. As a matter of fact, 7 to 3 of business owners go this route because it's faster, it's easier. The business owner remain the full control and ownership of their business. Thì thưa quý vị là nhiều người không biết là khi mà người ta khởi nghiệp là phần lớn là người Mỹ hay là người Á, người ta đều thích là tự dùng tiền của mình. Tại dùng tiền của mình thì nó nhanh hơn, và tới 73% là người ta dùng tiền của mình. Nhưng mà dùng tiền của mình thì có một cái rất là đáng tiếc là phần lớn chúng ta không có nhiều tiền, cho nên khi mà chúng ta dùng tiền của mình thì cái business nó không được to, không được như là ý mình muốn. Okay, so let's just say that you also self-fund, but you don't have your own money. Guess what? You can go credit card. So I see that a lot when I work as a banker at JP Morgan Chase Bank. A lot of people, they go and get either a personal credit card or business credit card. They may get approved for $5,000-$10,000 and they can use it for their working capital. I personally don't really recommend that because business card usually 0% in the first 12 months, but after that it'll be like 24.99%. Okay, are you with me so far? Very high interest, but I know it happened a lot in the entrepreneur ecosystem. Thì có một cách nữa là có nhiều người là khi mà họ bắt đầu khởi nghiệp họ không muốn đi mượn vay tín dụng gì cho nó phiền phức thì họ đi mở credit card thì credit card là thường là nó sẽ là 0% 12 tháng đầu tiên, và sau đó nó sẽ là thường có một cái lãi suất rất là lớn là 24.99%. Thì Cathy là không có recommend cái này nha quý vị, nhưng mà cái này là Cathy thấy rất là nhiều. Tại hồi xưa Cathy làm cho JP Morgan Chase Bank thì Cathy thấy rất nhiều người khởi nghiệp từ họ vào họ mở một đống credit card để họ dùng cái đó họ finance cho cái business của họ. Okay, the next one is very popular in American community, but I don't know a single Vietnamese community to go this route. So you might want to pay attention, okay? And I don't understand why. Maybe because it's more complicated, it takes more time or effort. It's called tap into your retirement account. So do we all have retirement account? Yes, raise your hand. Okay. And what retirement account talk about? Talk about 401k, yes? Roth IRA, okay. So do you know that you actually can tap into your retirement account for business funding? So if you put your money into your 401k and your Roth IRA, the stipulation from the federal guideline, you cannot take the money out until you are 59. And you with me so far? So they want you to be older and ready to retire, so you take money out. But what I have seen a lot during my job is a lot of people, they like 50, right? And then like, oh my God, I'm sick of my job. I cannot wait to quit my job and go start my business. And all my money is tied up on my retirement. Let's just say I have $1 million in my 401k and I don't take it out to start my business. Can it be done? The answer is yes. So how do they do it? First, there's something called ROPS, roll over as business starter. So what it is you want to incorporate your business, okay? And then you want to set up a corporation to the business. You want to set up your RIA as a qualified plan within the business. And then you want to roll your personal retirement into the company retirement plan. Are you with me so far? And you want to use a plan to buy the share in your business. So the rollover is called qualified and then tax-free. Okay, so you need a company to set all that up for you. There'll be a fee and all that. But if you do it correctly, the rollover is tax-free. Okay, so you can use that money to finance your business. Do I recommend this option? Yes and no, because that's your retirement. So if business work out, great, but if business doesn't work out, what do you do for your retirement? So it's up to you and your unique situation and how stable the business is going to be. But I see this option a lot in the American community. Angie, you work in the Asian community. I don't know if you ever see something like this, but I myself haven't seen anything like this. But I forgot to translate. So cái này là coi như là một cái tài khoản hưu trí. Thì quý vị, tại tài khoản hưu trí cũng có thể tài trợ cho cái doanh nghiệp của quý vị. thì cái tên của nó gọi là rollover as business startup là ROS. Thì nếu mà quý vị Google á thì nó sẽ giải thích rất là rõ ràng. Thì đầu tiên là quý vị phải là lập một cái doanh nghiệp trước ha, như là một cái corporation đó, rồi sau đó quý vị muốn phải là thiết lập một cái kế hoạch hưu trí, và sau đó là quý vị sẽ là kéo cái tiền từ cái 401k của quý vị á, vào cái hưu trí này và dùng cái tiền đó để mà khởi nghiệp. Thì cái này là hoàn toàn hợp pháp với cái luật của nước Mỹ, và nếu mà quý vị làm đúng á thì cái tiền đó nó sẽ được miễn thuế thưa quý vị. Nhưng mà quý vị không có tự làm được, quý vị phải thuê một công ty về làm về cái dịch vụ này để làm cho quý vị nha. Cho nên đừng có ra tự làm, phải thuê một công ty thì nó làm mới gọi là hợp lý. Tiếp theo á là family, friend and fool. So I see this a lot in the Asian American community. When we start a business, we most likely go to our friend and our family. And we Asian Americans have a very strong need with our friend and family. And then that would be one of the easy ways to get money. Thì tiếp theo á, là chúng ta mượn tiền của bạn bè á, thì cũng có thể mượn tiền, ví dụ mượn tiền để trả lại, hoặc á, là mượn tiền rồi bán một cái quyền sở hữu trong cái business mình á. Thì cách nào như vậy á thì á, là coi như là Cathy thấy rất là nhiều trong cái cộng đồng của người châu Á chúng ta, nhưng mà có những cái bất cập như thế này quý vị nha. Thì á, là khi mà mình mượn tiền á, từ when we borrow money from our family friend, if we don't have a clear communication, where my conflict might happen and we never talk to them again. And that actually happened with my own family. And I'm sure that, a lot of professionals here see that a lot. So we call it the German handshakes, and I don't recommend that. So if you want to borrow money from your family and friend, I recommend you have a written document, that clear expectation when you will get back and all that terms, so that to prevent for conflict in the future. Thì coi như là Cathy cũng nói là coi như khi mình huy động vốn từ gia đình bạn bè thì là cái này là nó có rất là nhiều trong cái cộng đồng người châu Á, nhưng mà Cathy là khuyên là khi mà mình làm như vậy là mình phải là nói rất là rõ ràng với họ, mình phải có giấy tờ cho nó đàng hoàng á, để sau này có chuyện gì mình không có giận nhau, mình không có đánh lộn gây gổ với nhau á. Tại Cathy thấy chuyện này rất là nhiều trong cái cộng đồng châu Á. The next is called angel investor. So we actually have two angel investors in Fort Worth and Dallas. Who can tell me their name? The first one in Fort Worth. Then you know them.
Countdown Angels.
Thank you. And then how about the one in Dallas? What's their name? You gotta know this. No? Nobody? It's called NTAM, North Texas Angel Networks, right there. So I actually used to run meeting for the Countdown Angel. And what really sad is all the people come asking for money is all American. I have never seen a single Asian American. So that's why I'm here to bring this information to you, to change the information. So I run meeting for them for like 3 years. And like I said, every single person who come asking for money is American. I've never seen a single Asian American, which really sad when we have we have the number 4 Vietnamese American in the United States. So who is angel investor? So angel investor is individual who provide financial backing to early startup company to exchange for equity. The angel investor. So I give an example. For example, Angie put out real well. She can be an angel investor, right? So for example, the friend she can come to her and say, "Hey, I saw a really great full restaurant. Why don't you be my angel investor? Give me $100,000. I give you $20,000." For my ownership, and that's how it works. Very simple. Any question? No. So thưa quý vị á, là Cathy nói là Cathy đã từng làm việc cho Countdown Angel á, và Cathy luôn meeting cho họ á. Thì trong vòng 3 năm á, tất cả những người mà tới để xin tiền từ Countdown Angel cho là người Mỹ. Và Cathy hoàn toàn khi mua gì thấy một người châu Á là đó sự đáng tiếc, tại vì châu Á làm business rất là giỏi thưa quý vị, cho nên Cathy phải nói về cái tổ chức này quý vị biết. Thì á, là Angel Investor là những người thế nào? Angel Investor là những người gọi là nhà đầu tư thiên thần, và họ là phải có gọi là cái tỷ giá network là trên 1 triệu đồng thì người ta mới có thể qualify làm angel investor. Nhưng mà thực ra 1 triệu đồng nó rất là dễ cho quý vị. Ví dụ như cái nhà của mình bây giờ nếu mà pay off thì nó là 400-500 ngàn rồi, đúng không? Rồi sau đó mình có những cái nhà cho thuê hay là đầu tư này nọ, thì cho nên nó là thấy rất là nhiều người châu Á mình có thể là gọi là angel investor. Và coi như là nếu mà quý vị mà qualify là investor, quý vị có thể gia nhập là Countdown Angel ở thành phố Fort Worth. Còn nếu mà quý vị sống ở Dallas thì nó có một cái tổ chức gọi là North Angel Network, North Texas Angel Network. Okay, So I'm gonna fast forward this because it's not as popular in the Asian American community. Okay, let's talk about a favorite topic, grant. Okay, because we all would love free money, right? Do I have some of my students in this oh, okay, you are, oh, okay, great. So what are grant? So grant is either from the US government, either from federal, from state, from local government, or it's from corporation. Okay, so the number one grant that you can search is grants.gov. You can go in your phone and check right now. There's also something called Small Business Innovation Research that you can apply for up to $1 million for new product development. And then if you want to go to like smaller grant, corporate small business grant, you can, the FedEx usually give out small business grant from 7,000 to 25,000. Visa, we all know Visa, right? On our credit card everywhere, up to $100,000, and Venmo is up to 10,000, just to name a few of free grant out there. So, thì thưa quý vị, tiếp theo á, là coi như là grant là quỹ hỗ trợ doanh nghiệp từ chính phủ á, thì đó là những cái quý vị coi trong những cái slide á, thì đó là những cái nơi mà đưa cho quý vị từ á, là coi như chính phủ liên bang cho tới là những cái công ty lớn mà nó có rất là nhiều chương trình grant, thưa quý vị. Thì đây là những cái lợi và hại của grant. Thì thưa quý vị á, grant á, thì đầu tiên dĩ nhiên là tiền miễn phí. Nhưng mà ở Mỹ nó có một câu là there's no free money, right? So what happened is, yes, you do not lose equity in business if you win grant. And I have had a lot of people win grant. And I'm talking about anything from $5,000 into the $1 million. I have had many times win grant. So I know it can be done, okay? So I'm not saying it cannot be done. But what I'm saying is you have to invest a ton of time to write grant. So you sit down, either you do it yourself, or you work with some grant writer to write a grant application. It's a huge investment of time, and then you have to wait for a long time, okay, to get approved, and you have to compete with a lot of people. So they're free money. So everyone competes for that, right? And then there's a lot of high eligibility. Okay, so again, free money, but again, you know, that's a constraint. I just want to make sure that you all understand that. Okay. Okay, so let's talk about crowdfunding. Does anybody know crowdfunding? This crowd, raise your hand. Okay, so I saw Vivek, I saw Paul, Ben. How about the SBA? No? You know, okay, May. How about our banker? All right. We are missing out, y'all. You need to learn about crowdfunding. Marco, you know about crowdfunding. So when I was a banker, I had no idea what crowdfunding means. So I don't blame the banker. So what crowdfunding is, and here, by the way, I put three, one, Kickstarter, GoFundMe, and Lending Club. And and what it means is you can go to the public and ask them to support your business in different ways, okay? The first one is called rewards-based crowdfunding. And a big company that we do is called Kickstarter. And what does it mean? It, you know, you are funding for a product. You put it on the portal, you ask people to go fund it, and if people fund it, they can get a reward. So that's why it's called reward funding. And I have seen projects in $1 million, in the millions that got funded. Yes. For example, I go back to the beginning. Let's say that you invented a new noodle pho that you want to sell to the purpose, right? But it costs like $100,000 to sell that instant pho. You can put it on Kickstarter, and if you get funded, you can, you know, so they become successful, you can get $100,000 to start your instant noodle. Okay, thì cứ như là cái crowdfunding này á, người Mỹ họ dùng rất là nhiều, mà không phải chỉ là người Mỹ thôi quý vị, cái người ở nước khác, ví dụ như châu Âu rồi nước khác, họ dùng rất là nhiều, nhưng mà không biết tại sao người châu Á mình không biết. Và cái này nó cũng rất là đem lại những cái nhiều lợi ích cho cái business của quý vị. Bây giờ tôi nói lại cái câu chuyện của chị Duyên ha, xin lỗi chị Duyên là tiêu dùng rất là nhiều. Ví dụ như chị Duyên có bên một cái nhà hàng phở, nhưng chị nói ôi bây giờ bán phở thì nó không có như việc bán, hay là mình sẽ sản xuất, mình sẽ sáng tạo ra một cái brand mà phở instant rồi mình bán trên cái đấy không có như thế không. Nhưng mà muốn chế tạo được cái instant phở đó thì mình mất 100.000 để mà mình có thể nghiên cứu để sáng tạo thì chị Duyên có thể là lên cái Kickstarter bỏ cái gì đó chị á, và nếu mà nó thành công á thì mình có thể là huy động vốn được 100.000 mà làm cho cái gì đó, và cái khi đã thấy rất là nhiều dự án là hàng triệu đô la, và mình được phân, và người business đó họ có tiền để họ có thể làm dự án của họ. lot of property. Okay, so that's Kickstarter. So how the next one is called donation based, it's called GoFundMe. We all know GoFundMe, right? Somebody died and they don't have fee to take care of the funeral, you do a GoFundMe to help them out. So we see that a lot now, Facebook, but actually GoFundMe also been used for small business. I see that a lot. And then the next one is called peer-to-peer lending. So it's called, example is lending club. So for example, go back to the if he come to me and say, hey, Kathy, lend me $100,000 down my full restaurant. Say, I don't have $100,000, but I have $1,000. And if he can get $1,000 from 100 people, that's $100,000. So that's called peer lending, which means you get small loans from people. Okay, any question for me so far? No? What a quiet group. Yes, sir.
You mentioned, using credit cards to start up costs. Is there a tax benefit for that when you're using your own personal funds for startups? No.
What's your name, sir?
Vincent,
Vincent,
yes.
thank you so much for the question. Yes, sir. And what's your name?
My name is Joseph Panzera. That's my father.
Oh, yes, Joseph, what's your question?
I have two questions, actually.
Okay.
First one, what did you mean by this, for the credit cards can be a source of working capital? What did you mean by that?
Okay, first start working capital, right? So, okay, working capital would mean the day-to-day operation. So earlier I used the example of Miss Yuan, that she wants to start her restaurant, right? So what is working capital? That she needs the money every day to pay for what? Like, she wants to cook a bowl of noodles, right? So she needs that money to pay for, to get the noodle, to get the meat, to put it together, to make the noodle. She also needs the working capital to pay for utility, water, electricity. So if she doesn't have a ton of cash, cash is still the most one, but she doesn't have a lot of cash reserve. You can get a credit card, like I said, it's $10,000 of credit. So you can use that credit card to pay for all the expense to run the business. Okay? And then what's your second question?
I'm struggling to understand what exactly a rollover as business startup is.
Oh, okay, because you are very young. Well, but you so with that, let me explain again. So a lot of working people like me and your dad and Marco, we have something called retirement. So let's say that I go to work, right, and I start a retirement, and I put about $10,000 away every year for my retirement. After 10 years, I have $100,000, right? And I really hate my job. I'm like, oh my God, I'm cleaning, I'm starting a business. I have no money to start a business, but guess what? In my retirement, I have $100,000. Okay. And in the retirement, if you take the money out early, before you're 59 and a half, you have to pay, I think it's 10% penalty, plus your tax rate, another 20%. So of $100,000, I have to pay like 30,000, which is a lot of money. So I can do the rollover to avoid tax. Okay. Right. And whatever, if you go to Google, you put in raw, and put it on video, there's video to explain that probably better than I can. Okay, any questions? I love it. Keep it coming. Okay, so let's talk about, why you here applying for business loan. Okay, so here is why I invite all the bankers, because in my opinion, getting business loan is so hard. There's so many things that people don't know. So I give you a secret. It's called the 5C of credit underwriting. Okay. So anybody ever heard about the 5C of credit underwriting? Raise your hand. Okay. Okay. All the bankers, but no. And then Sam, and then Vivek, but then that's it. Okay. All right. So I have a secret to give you how to qualify for your bank loan. It's called 5C. Okay, repeat after me. 5C. All right. The first thing, and I'm gonna use somebody else for this example. How about I use Joseph? Okay. So Joseph, what type of business you want to start?
Sorry,
Do you want to start a business? That's what you hear, right?
I'm thinking about it.
Okay. All right. Let's go back to your business. All right. Let's go back to your. Let's say that she go back. She want to get a bank loan. She go to May, to get a bank loan of $400,000. You start her whole restaurant. She already $100,000 of down payment, right? So what May want to do is she will evaluate you based on the 5C. The first thing is character. Can May trust you the C is a personal integrity. C will be able to pay back the loan. How to make evaluate? Yes.
If you build a relationship,
So a very easy way for me to evaluate that is to run a unit credit report. Because in the credit report, it shows everything for your personal finance. They show how many credit cards you have. You have to make a late payment. Are you responsible? It really paint a picture of your character. So everybody, if you go away and you don't remember anything, remember, take care of your credit report. And the only place I recommend is annualcreditreport.com. Go there, run it every year. It is free. It's provided by the FTC. You don't have to pay a single dollar for that. It will be so far. Okay, so the next is the thing that we will try to understand is the union has the ability to repay the loan. Okay, the next one is there any down payment? It's called capital. Okay, and we talk about 100,000, 10% of the project. Is there any collateral to secure the loan? Would be is there anything that may exceed the restaurant and and lastly, the condition of the industry and economy. And that explains the 5C. If you satisfy the 5C, then you will get the loan. Any question? You know, I'm not easy. I can make sure for you every day.
Question,
Yes, yes. Question it?
Salvador Lopez.
Okay.
And the big question is, I know we have personal credits, but when we try to start our own business and we barely starting, how we qualify for business credit? Is it a big difference?
Yeah, so when you start a business, you only have personal credit, like you said, this is your social security. And then when you incorporate your business, you have to apply for something called EIN number, okay? And that EIN number is and then later was the side of your business credit. But then it takes you a long time to build a business credit, because let's say that after you incorporate it, you want to build it up by having business credit card, business checking account, business loan. And it takes a long time, to start with business credit. Does that answer your question?
Yes, but a long time requires like after 2 years or a couple months.
there are ways that you can build your business credit, right? Because banks, we offer secure credit cards for personal and businesses. We also offer CP collateralized line of credit, which means you have to put in your own cash, get a loan, and build your business credit that way. And basically, when we do a business credit, we look at DNB, Dun & Bradstreet. There's an index here, and that's what you want to build for your business.
We piggyback on that, because first and foremost is, I've seen a lot of people transition from working for someone to starting their own business. What you want to focus on first is making sure your credit is accurate, your personal credit. And then from when you transition to opening a business or starting a business, your personal credit would carry over to get a business credit card. So obviously, if you have good credit, you won't have any issues getting a business credit card. But if you have issues on your personal credit, it's going to make it very tough for you to get a business credit card. And the business credit card, yes, it will eventually report down the road to Dun & Bradstreet. And also, if you do business with other businesses, they also will report each other as well. So the most important thing is to make sure your credit is accurate and it's good. And then get a business credit card you can carry over. And plus, business credit cards and business loans, they will not actually report on your personal credit, meaning that let's say you get a business credit card for like $10,000 and then you use that card for business purchases, they will not penalize you later down the road when they pull your credit to, buy a house or refinance a house or buy a car or whatnot. They will not say, hey, you got a $10,000 credit card debt on your personal credit. Now, on the personal side, yes, you will get penalized when you use more than half of what's available for you. But on the business side, they won't penalize you. Now, if you stop paying or have issues in paying, yes, it will eventually affect your personal credit. But as long as you pay on time, it will not.
Another question, like on personal credit, they emphasize on the debt to income ratio. On the business size, does it work the same or?
Yes, it works similar. It's called debt service ratio.
Okay.
Yeah, and then we use, But each bank is different, for example, Prosperity Bank would use global cash flow. If you own multiple businesses, even though you are using business A to borrow money, but we want to see all your tax returns from your business and plus with personal returns, right? So we do global cash flow. And then when we do underwriting, with each bank, we have our own policy and rules. But generally speaking, so debt service ratio, for example, banks, we want to have that at least 1.2 times. So the debt service ratio means, all your revenue and, and all your business, business expenses and all the things, sometimes we can add something back for your revenue, for example, depreciation, amortization, interest expenses, right? But then when we calculate that ratio, it needs to be you need to be able to cover at least 1.2 times. Some banks, you guys may cover 1.25, I don't know, but generally speaking, it's in that range, at least. Yeah.
Okay. I'd like to mention, it means that they can get their credit report free of charge. You can get your credit report free of charge once a year from 3 credit agencies. So
Yes, that annual credit report is provided to Equifax and TransUnion and Expedia. So go to the annualcreditreport.com and you can get it from free credit bureau agency at no cost.
Yep.
Okay, yes. All right, I'm gonna fly through the last because we are grossly over time. But it looks like it's very engaging. People's not leaving, so that's good. All right, so you here for all the SBA loan program, right, Marco? So here's the SBA loan program, and if we have Eli here from the SBA, so I better be good. So the most popular program is 7A loan program, okay? And you can get maximum loan amount up to $5 million if you qualify. Did you hear me? If you qualify, okay? And the term is 7 to 25 years, depend on the type of business. Okay, in Vietnamese. Okay, so bây giờ Cathy sẽ nói nhanh á, tại vì không có nhiều thời gian nữa, thì Cathy sẽ nói về những cái chương trình loan, chương trình mượn nợ ngân hàng mà coi như rất là popular ở nước Mỹ là gọi là 7A loan program. Thì cái maximum có thể được là 5 triệu thưa quý vị, và cái term là từ 7 năm cho tới 25 năm. The next loan program is not that popular, but also very important. It's called the 504 loan program. It maturity 10 to 20 years. It's usually used for real estate. And we all know the Asian American people love real estate, rental home, office building, apartment, you name it. They love real estate. If they have money, they will not put in their retirement. They will put in real estate.
Banks love real estate too.
Yes, and then so for the 504 loan, you can if you qualify, you can get up to $5.5 million loan amount, and you can use that money to buy land, to buy building, to do improvement, construction of your business. Remember, not your house, okay? Your business, okay? So I will pass through this. And then here's the common mistake. So go back to what Vivek said. Most people don't know their credit. They don't even know where to go to get your credit report. So again, make sure you know your credit score, make sure you know your credit report, make sure there's no mistake. Most people don't know their personal net worth. So you have to know that. They don't know the loan amount. So go back to that you have to understand your startup cost. And so that is the common mistake that people make, okay? So don't make those mistakes, and then your loan will more likely to get approved. And make sure to go and make and build relationship with May and Vaughn or Tuan, because they will help you out with the process. Okay, so now what is the roadmap? Okay, I talk along and there are a lot of questions, right? First, like I said, sit down and analyze your financial situation. Write out all the costs that you need to start business. Next, I want you to write a business plan. If you don't know how to write a business plan, go to Sam, go to Paul, go to Vivek. They are qualified mentors. They will sit down with you. They will help you write a business plan. You want to evaluate your financing option. If you don't need a lot of money to start the business, there's no reason to go to bank. You can use your own money. But if you have a lot of money to start your business, like I said, to start a restaurant is $500,000 on average. Nobody has that kind of cash, so you may want to, go to May, to Vaughn, or to Tuan, and then you will step up your business. So that's the roadmap. Okay. Any question for me? No. Yes, Joseph.
What's a collateral?
Oh, what is the collateral? Okay, and I'm sorry, to go so fast. So collateral, who want to answer that? Okay, Vaughn,
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
because loud.
Basically what you put up to borrow the money. So if you have a free and clear, real estate, commercial real estate, you want to borrow $1 million and the real estate's worth $2 million, you put your real estate up for collateral. When you go buy a car, your car is your collateral. So you're making payments to the loan, but the bank wants something in case you don't pay, so they can take it back for the loan that they gave you.
Something to get that as your collect.
Because if your business fail, the bank still need to get their money back, right? So you pledge something for that amount of business. Okay. All right, so now, let's go to the portion that we all waiting, which is the panel discussion feature 3 lenders. So I'm going to start with May, and then I go to Vaughn and go to Tuan, and I will ask you to tell your name, your bank, what do you do for small business, okay? So let's start with May. And you please remember it's a big room, so speed up, Then talk to the microphone.
So what do we do for this small business? We should ask what we don't do for small business, right? We don't do for people with credit not meet the requirement. We don't do loans that you really don't know what you are doing because we didn't consult with Sam or we did that. But we don't really do business with you because you just want to get that money and you think you can start a small business. And so everything's about what Kathy talked about. You need to know know how to evaluate your small business. If it's a startup, if it's already existing and you want to break that bottleneck, please sit down, evaluate your own cash, your finance, your cash flow. And I know a lot of small business owners, they don't even know what cash flow report or statement is. So have a habit to talk to your big bookkeeper, consult people that can help you, SBDCs for live fund, people funds, all of the resources. We use them too. We bankers, if we cannot help a small business owner at that moment, we refer to them because we all work together to help small business in the community. So for small business, of course, we do loans. We open accounts, we help you, right? We do credit cards, we even do secured line of credit to start the credit. Just the things you can think of, pretty much we do it. If we don't, I have my banker friends who can do it. I have my resources here. So again, it's a team effort. I'm not going to say Prosperity Bank is going to do everything for you. That's not correct and not realistic.
All right, Vaughn, please tell your name, your position of bank, and what your bank do for small business.
My name is Vaughn Kilmasai. I've been in banking roughly about 28 years. I work for Colonial Bank. We're the last bank, savings and loans in the US. So we're about $1.2 billion in assets. We're local here in Tarrant County only. We only have 5 locations. Our focus is basically where anything that has to do with commercial lending from a standard line of credit, medical practice, professional loans, equipment loans, real estate loans, SBAs, we'll handle all of it. My forte, since I've been with this bank now, I've been here 2 years, has been investment real estate. So we love investment real estate, office warehouses, strip malls, paint body shop, and basically anything owner occupied or investment related. And the way we cash flow is a little different than Prosperity because we're so focused on investment real estate right now.
Thank you, Vaughn. And then Tuan, you next.
Hi, everyone. My name is Tuan Tran. I'm a branch manager at Metro City Bank. Metro City Bank, they've been around for almost 20 years. They're headquartered in North Atlanta, Georgia. We got 3 branches in Texas. That's Grand Prairie, Dallas, and Houston. We're strategically in the Asian community because that's where we focus on, but we help anybody and everybody. I wanted to comment on as far as loans go. If you look at the hierarchy, in my opinion, business loans are probably the hardest to get. Then after that, maybe mortgages, then car loans, and then you get to unsecured, which would be personal loans and credit cards. But business loans, in my opinion, are one of the hardest to get because in the underwriter's eyes, if you only had one payment to make, most people would probably rather pay their mortgage than pay the business loan. And to be honest, you can argue on both sides of the coin, which is more beneficial, but you only have one payment. But most people will end up probably paying their mortgage versus their business loan. But again, business loans is probably one of the hardest to get, but there's a lot of wealth of resources available at your disposal. If you haven't already seen it, now that you've seen it firsthand, there's a lot of resources and a lot of folks that can help you, including the Chamber of Commerce. They can help direct you as well, and including folks like Kathy as well. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. So now I will start the question for the three banker, but also I welcome question from you all, so you have a question, you can raise your hand and I will walk to you. In the meanwhile, I will start my own question. So May, Vaughn, and Tuan, in the study of 2020, 4 out of 5 small business owners are denied financing from bank. And you already said that the risk of finance is one of the hardest. But I want to kind of like focus on, since you are all Asian American lenders. I know that you do business with everyone, but you all 3 Asian American lenders. So please tell me your observation of the top challenges of the Asian American community in the DFW areas. I know May from Dallas and Tuan is from the Tarrant County. And as a community, from banker to business advisor like me to mentor like Sam and Paul, what can we do to help that community so that we can all be successful, we can all rise, because if they are successful, then we Americans will be successful. But we already know that demographic face a lot of challenges from language, from culture barrier. But I want to hear your perspective as a banker. Let's start with me.
Okay. For me, really, it's about relationship. And don't think that I just say that. I can tell you so many times I have customers come to me to ask for a loan. Now asking, to you, why don't you ask your bank? And they will say, because I don't know anyone there. And you are in the community and I see you at the event or volunteer a lot. So important, very, very important. Doesn't matter you bank with Bank, every time you bank with Prosperity Bank or you bank with Central City. You have to know someone. Build a relationship with the banker. Because this small relationship, you might think it's not really nothing. One day it's going to play a big role. But in fact, in lending, probably a lot of you already heard about relationship pricing, right? And we also have, especially now after the Silicon Valley Bank and everything, more banks than ever talk about we only do relationship lending. So if you don't have anything with any bank or you have accounts but you don't know anyone, please start to build that relationship with the banker, right? And I also think that it's also important for business owners when you need to build relationships with at least 2 banks. Okay, it's something that we all have a niche. You already heard that all the banks we have what we like, and things change because we don't want to carry so much of the same loans on our balance sheet. So after a few years, it may change. Today, I may be able to help you to do this type of loan. 3 years later, I may not. But bond, 20, they may be able to. So build relationships, very important. I also noticed that there's something, it's always on my mind that I want to say is so many times we come, Asian business owners, when we see their tax returns, it's always 0 or a negative, like taking a loss. Because we know them, we know the owners of the businesses. We know their business not profitable. But tax returns, they are our Bibles when we do a loan. We cannot use your internal bookkeeping. We cannot use any company with financial statements when we do a loan. So please, especially when you know that you want to grow, you want to expand, you need to really talk to a consultant or talk to your CPA. You need to show that profit. If you don't have profit, how am I going to be confident that you will pay the business loan? Just like Chuan said, that mortgage loan probably will be your first priority. How about the business loan? Much risk for the banks, right?
So I'll piggyback on what May is saying as far as tax returns goes. That is a big challenge in the Asian community because there is a lot of cash business and not a lot of it's reported. Or they have a very creative CPA. I don't want to pay taxes myself. However, in the US versus, back in the country, I'm from Laos, but, from Vietnam or anywhere else, we don't have that. Basically, it's a handshake or it's a, you know what, Mr. Pham makes a lot of money. We know he's good for the loan. That's it. There's no, we trust him. In the US, it's not. I know you're very wealthy. I know you're very successful and your business does very well. However, if it's not on paper, it didn't happen. In the US, there's only so much that you can utilize as far as cash goes. When you want to grow and you want to, expand your business, it has to be on paper. And debt financing in the US is the way of the economy, the way the US works. So when I sit down with, my clients, when they bring me their tax returns, I go through it with them and say, hey, you know what? Your company just made $10 million, but you're negative $250,000 as far as your net income goes. It's pretty difficult to overcome that unless we have about $2 million in depreciation, amortization, and interest expense. And then back, And then the other thing is personal financial statement. It's very, very important. It's very easy to do. You can get it from the SBA website. You can, gentlemen over here can help you with it, but you need to know what your net worth is. You need to know what your assets are, what your liabilities are. That will give a bank a clear idea of what you're capable of doing. If you want to expand your business or start your business or buy investment real estate, so that to us is key. You have debt of $500,000, but you have net worth of about $4 million. So we can work with that, especially with my bank. We can work with that. If your debt service coverage ratio, like May said, is at least 1 to 1, we can work with that. So what that means is for every dollar that you owe, you need to make $1. What the bank like to see is if you owe $1, the bank like to see you make 1.25 or $1.25. So it's a very easy ratio to run. It takes us maybe 2-3 minutes to run it for you. It's not very difficult, but you need to understand that, build a relationship with a banker, and then just go and say, hey, here's my financial. Can you kind of help me with it? We'll be more than happy to do that for you. So that way you can understand exactly what you're looking at and how to overcome what your shortfalls are, if there's any.
I like to emphasize on the tax return because you gotta understand, this is historical data. So the tax returns are from 2 years ago. So if you just decided to grow your business right now, those conversations should have been had 2 years ago because this historical data is going to show up eventually. So I guess it's a good way to what May said, basically have a relationship with your banker. That way you guys can have those discussions on how to grow your business and how it looks on the tax returns and what looks good and what doesn't look good, and have some explanation for it. So again, tax returns, it's historical data. So if you have plans on growing your business, you're gonna need to show that 2 years ago, okay?
That Wang mentioned personal financial statement, how that appears that why we emphasize on this, because you as the owner, you need to be a personal guarantor. And that's why we see PFS is associated with personal guarantor.
All right, I'm gonna do a quick Vietnamese translation because time constraint. So thưa quý vị, thì cứ như hồi nãy các chị hỏi á, là trong cái cộng đồng người khởi nghiệp, doanh nghiệp của người Mỹ gốc Á ở Dallas Fort Worth thì ba cái giám đốc của ba ngân hàng thấy là những cái khó khăn gì, thì cả ba người đều đồng ý cái khó khăn á là người châu Á của mình á thì làm kinh doanh rất là giỏi, làm rất là nhiều tiền, nhưng mà khổ một cái á, là có một cái xu hướng chung á, là trốn thuế. Thưa quý vị, có nghĩa là khi mà đưa cái thuế để mà tới cho họ á, thì coi như là cái thuế có thể là ví dụ như là cái doanh thu là 10 triệu, nhưng mà tới cái net income á gọi là thì coi như là negative, gọi là âm, cho nên là không có một cách nào để mà có thể mà coi như qualify cho cái mượn nợ ngân hàng được. Cho nên là họ nói là rất là quan trọng ở nước sở tại như là nước Lào hoặc là nước Việt Nam hay Trung Quốc á, là coi như tin tưởng với nhau, làm việc với nhau. Nhưng mà ở Mỹ không có vậy, ở Mỹ cái gì cũng phải là trên giấy tờ cho nó rõ ràng, có nghĩa là nếu mà trên giấy tờ không có thì cái chuyện đó không có xảy ra. Cho nên quý vị phải nhớ là nếu mà quý vị muốn mà coi như mà nâng tầm cái doanh nghiệp của mình, quý vị muốn là đi xa và đi mau, đi nhanh hơn nữa, thì quý vị phải làm ăn cho nó đàng hoàng đúng đắn và để không thể cho quý vị và phải nói chuyện với họ để mà mình có thể là bàn bạc và có thể là cái plan cho cái tương lai của quý vị. Chứ quý vị đừng có thấy cái lợi trước mắt mà quên đi là cái lợi là cái tương lai. Và bây giờ cái team muốn hỏi quý vị là quý vị có câu hỏi nào cho ba cái giám đốc ngân hàng, đây là cơ hội của quý vị để được có câu hỏi cho ba cái giám đốc ngân hàng của ba ngân hàng lớn của đất sạch. Thưa quý vị. Yes, and Peter, would you please speak loud so we can all hear you?
Yes, I have a question for the bankers. You know that we are in the environment that companies lay off people left and right. And also, especially the interest rate is very high now. So should one start a business in this environment?
Did you all hear the question?
Yeah.
Who want to go first? Okay, Bon. All right, you go, man.
So starting a business, I don't think it has anything to do with what the interest rate's doing. Interest rate will go up and down. You can always refinance depending on what type of loan you're taking out. So what you want to look for is the economic environment itself. We're still strong. Business is still vibrant. My clients are still taking up loans. This week I'm closing almost $5 million in real estate loan for my clients. The rate is a little higher. Some have chosen to take a variable rate instead of a fixed rate, or take a shorter fixed rate term so they can refinance it. We normally do our loans without prepayment penalties, or we'll offer modifications on real estate loans. So if the rates do come down, we can always modify the loan, or we can refinance the loan to a lower rate. So as long as your cash flow, your company, your business, or you personally can cover what you're trying to do, I think it's a great time to start a business, because interest rate environment to me is not that much of a key factor. It's basically what type of business we're doing and what you're looking to do and what your cash position is and what your borrowing position is.
Anybody else want to add on top of that? Me?
So the gentleman said that people are being laid off, and I think probably you are thinking these people, they want to open and start a business. That might be related. So it's all good as long as you know, again, what you are doing. Think it through, right? Just like Ron said, interest rates should not have any bearing with what you want to start a business with. Any times we started out, we can do modification when rates come down. We can refinance like Ron said, but just because let's just say that a person's being laid off, just because you are being laid off and you hate your job, you say you want to start a business, please think it through your capacity. The conditions of the current economy, US is okay for small business owners, right? Depending upon what industry you want to get in. And also your capacity. How much have you saved up for your capital needs? And do you have the credit requirement that you can meet? Do you have the business plan, right? go check with this gentleman in SBDC. Make sure, and when I look at the business plan, I want to see, you don't just give me first year, this is the revenue, second year, this is the revenue. I want to see every month for the first year, you know exactly how to generate that revenue. You know exactly, or I don't want to say exactly, you know how to estimate your monthly expenses by items and come to the conclusion. First month, I may be losing money. For the first 6 months, I may be losing money. But at a certain point, I can break even and start to make profit. That's when I know you really know how to run a business, how to start a business. So that's just some, I guess, tip I want to give to the business owners.
Okay, so we have time for one last question, and I had to close out this question before we really go over time. So any other question for the banker before I close out? Yes, sir, Joseph.
Operations related financing, I'm not quite understanding like what exactly that means.
Okay, so which page are we talking about? Page number 12. Okay, operations financing. So I'm thinking that he's talking about the factoring and also
Yeah.
Who want to explain that one? Okay, and make it loud so they can know.
Really quick. So operation related finance, right? So for example, you are a manufacturing company, right? So you have receivables, you have inventory, right? You can sell, you can generate, sell. So we have so-called factoring, right? So you can use your inventory or your receivables, kind of like you advance your money from the receivables. That's factoring. Which means, for example, if Kathy has a factoring company, I am the manufacturing company. I have my receivable. I go to Kathy and say, hey, I'm really short on cash. Can you advance me, use my receivables when you collect? You get them 100%, but advance me whatever you can. And normally 70% or 75%. Just say, so that's factoring. And we also have so-called receivables or inventory. You can use that as collateral. Then come to the bank or come to a lending company. That's again, we will give you an advance. And then once you collect the money, I would do the collection for you because I would advance your money. That's it. The two things I can think of. Anything else that you can think of? Oh, yeah, but and then, when you do this, please consider the costs, right? Because they tend to be expensive. So unless you really know it's a short-term thing. Because I had a company before, they were in that factory cycle, they couldn't get out for the longest time. Until, we got a bank that could help to take over the factory and have a term, and they start to grow. So be careful with what you get into. To be honest, if you want to give credit, you will have multiple companies out there that will give you credit, but then it costs you an arm and leg, right? So that's what I'm saying. Credit, not just the bank. There are a lot of companies out there. So be careful and talk to your consultants. And I don't recommend you to talk to just family and friends because a lot of times they give you the wrong information.
That's correct. All right, so that concludes the panel discussion of three bankers. Please give them a big hand. So I would like to invite Mr. Marco Johnson to provide the closing.
Well, this has been a great session for me. I think everybody learned something. Raise your hand if you learned something you didn't know before you walked in the room. Awesome. Great. That's what we want to see. Thank you so much. Again, round of applause for our distinguished banker guests here. Round of applause to Kathy for not only putting this event together, but doing simultaneous interpretation in test languages. Thank you.
You did a great job. Wonderful to work with Kathy. I want to give a quick shout out to something that we developed in Sparkyard called the Capital Growth Circuit. So what's the name of this session today? Roadmap to business financing, right? We created a literal roadmap. So I have a short version and a couple long versions. I don't have enough for everybody. Sorry about that, but you can go on our website and download them for free. So take a look at that. It covers a lot of what Kathy was talking about today. And happy Global Entrepreneurship Week. It's great to see all of you. I'll stick around for a few minutes if anybody wants to talk.
And before you leave, I need you to take a picture of the evaluation survey because that, and then give us your survey. So you want to scan the picture on the PowerPoint or you want to do it on the handout? And it's completely anonymous. You do not ask for your name. Okay, it's only 5 questions. It will take you 30 seconds to do it. But it's really important so that we know if you do a good job or not. If we know that the time and also the location is convenient for you. And also if we put together an event in the future, we want which topic you want to do. You want to do in finance, you want to do business plan, you want to do marketing, what do you want? Because that will help us to plan for our next event. So please don't go away yet. Like I said, the scan it, answer it, let us know. And then stick around to say bye. And if anybody wants to do some interview with our TV station, come with me. We will do another interview and unlock. You have a question?
I have a business card here.
Okay.
If you look at all, if you issue with the city, pothole lights doesn't work, and any other issue with the city, and how to bid and all of the city of the contract, I'll go with 30% of women and other business. And a lot of times, these companies don't have enough women and minority business owners. So I got a plan, and I've been talking to my equity officer, Mr. Troy Williams, and I give to my fellow council member, maybe we can do something in the future that help, women and minority business. That's very important because, women are important. If it wasn't for my mom, I wouldn't be here today. So, and I got 4 sisters. So women and all this very important to see all of them because, we believe in helping everyone in the city. So I leave my business card here. This is my city cell number. If you want my personal cell to go vote for longfam.com, you can copy that number down for free. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. And then another day when you go the survey. So big corporation or city, when they do contract, and by the way, this go back to the NG because I think you can do this here. So when they go, they have a big contract, they have to give like anywhere from 10 to 15 to 30% to small business and woman-owned and minority. So I give an example where they will be building the Texas Ranger Stadium. They are the prime contractor. They reached out to me. They said, you know what, we only